Interrupt that banger. But this is Ben Beckfast, and you're listening to 106.9 FM in Sackville, New Brunswick. And that was Down South by Jeremy Loops. Oh, we stopped it on time. We're off to a great start. All right. Welcome back to Ben Beckfast on this lovely Tuesday night. Yeah. It's good to be back in New Brunswick. It's good to be back in tree time. Anyways. Yeah, it's nice to be back. It's nice to have school up and started and running and going again. And it's nice not to be in crippling sleep deprivation, you know? That's really helpful. It's really great not to be exhausted all the time. It's really, really enjoyable. It's really enjoyable when you don't have no joy because you just want to sleep, you know? It's hilarious. I know it's absolutely hilarious talking about sleep deprivation. Yeah, no, I've just been still adjusting. I've been still adjusting to getting home from my trip, and it was a rough like week and a half. It was a rough week and a half because I don't know. I was like waking up at like 6, the first 4 days I woke up at 4 a.m., which is like not at all something I would do. I'm not a morning person whatsoever. Like getting up at 4 a.m., getting a head start on my day. It's like, what am I doing here? Went to the gym at 6 a.m. Like me and all the other psychos, you know? And I can call them psychos because they're not awake now. It's bedtime for them. They got to go to bed so they can wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym at 6. Losers. No, I'm kidding. Those are people that they really have dedication for, anyways. Yeah, so I was getting up at so early. I was getting up like 4 a.m., you know, starting my day at 4, going for a 20-kilometer run, doing a meditation, going to the gym, getting groceries. No, I usually end up waking up at 4 and staring at my phone for an hour and a half and then being like, this is terrible. The sun's still not going to come out for 2 more hours. I need to find something to do. So I'd go to the gym at 6 o'clock, and I'm like, there will be nobody there. I won't have to say anything to anybody. And I was mistaken. I get to the stud at 6, and there's a line of people just waiting outside the door because evidently the door to the stud locks at some time in the night, and you can't get in until 6 a.m. on the dot through its automatic system. There's like 7 or 8 people just standing there waiting to get in the gym at 6 a.m. Like, what are you doing? People are crazy. But yeah, I don't know. It was quite funny. I don't know. It was a weird couple days getting up that early, going to the gym that early. Went to the grocery store at 7 a.m. in the morning. Like, literally the only guy there. Like, people were staring at you like, buddy, we still have an hour to stock these shelves. Like, get out of here. The fruit's not even fresh yet. Like, it's still in the back. Why are you here? It's like, I don't know. I'm just on my day. No, but the truth was I wasn't on my day. It gave me a false sense of production. Because getting up early makes you feel productive. But if you get up early and you dick around for 2 hours, you're not actually productive. You're just getting up early. So that's kind of what was going on. I was just getting up early for the sake of getting up early. You know, there's no point in losing 2 hours sleep so you can stare at your phone or you can think about all the stuff you have to do. You know, might as well just sleep for that time. And that's kind of why I've reverted. I was such a morning person early in my childhood. I was always up early. I was up at like 6 a.m. I was downstairs. I was making breakfast. I was watching cartoons. And like, I remember like at least 89% of the weekends, I was up before my parents every single time. And they're early risers. They still get up very early. I always just get up earlier than them. I don't know what it was. And then as I started to develop... That's the wrong word. As I started to gain, okay, well, as I started to get more stuff I had to do, I started to go to bed later because, you know, I'm not exactly the, I don't know. There's like just a part of my day that requires procrastination. Like, I know it doesn't, but it does. You know, just like, I'm going to do it. I'll do it later. So I don't know. There always has to be like an hour in my day that I'm just like thinking that I should be doing something, but I'm doing something completely different. So I don't know. I just kind of reverted to like, well, I guess I'm more productive at night, because at that point I'm just like, well, what have I done all day? I might as well just do work now. And it's fine. And I'm very productive at that time, but getting up early is not the thing. So anyway, I'm feeling better. I'm still kind of tired. Like today I was lacking by 6 o'clock. I've had to entertain myself, keep myself awake, keep it going. So yeah, I don't know. It's been fine. We're getting back into the swing of things, but yeah. What happened this weekend? Well, I'll tell you what happened this weekend. We watched a little bit of football. Yeah, watched a little bit of football. Why can I not find these? Found the scores. It's okay. Yeah, what a great weekend of playoff football. Honestly, like 2 games that came down to the absolute wire. 2 other games that were pretty good. I don't know. It was a good game. Well, let's talk about Ravens Texans. Obviously, the Ravens outclassed them throughout the game. Their defense looks absolutely ridiculous. They've got 2 absolutely I love their defense. I don't know. I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan from 2011 to 2014. Like, that's the peak era of my NFL fandom. And like any defense that I can somewhat compare to like the Legion of Boom, where you have like just absolutely game-wrecking secondary, I'm like, yup, anytime. And a good linebacker, just makes me okay. But like, I don't know, it doesn't, defensive linemen, they don't really get me going as much, because the Seahawks never, like in the 12 years that they had a good defense, they had one good defensive lineman that I remember, and that was Michael Bennett. And he was decent. He was an all-star once in his career. So when I see defenses with only good defensive linemen, I don't even find it interesting anymore. And you know what? The Ravens have every position. Like, their defensive linemen are obviously the top, but they don't have like the star pass rushers like a Nicky Ballboy Bosa there. Nicky runs weird, Bosa. Nicky, I don't know why. He runs so strange. Like, he runs with his knees pointing at 45-degree angles. It's very odd. But that guy is as jacked as we get. Yeah, that guy is so jacked. Like, it's and he's Italian. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Never really seen like, because like, I don't know. I'm not saying Italian guys aren't jacked. I'm just saying no Italian guy is that jacked. If he was like Icelandic, I'd be like, that checks out. But he's not. He's like full blown Italian, because he looks just like he looks like he should be from Scandinavia, basically. The good bloodline of European descent. But no, when you talk to him, he's like, pizza, pasta. It just doesn't make sense to me. That guy is absolutely... Anyway, so yeah, the Ravens defense, I like them because they've got not just good pass rush, but they've got 2 absolutely ridiculous linebackers in... one of them's Patrick Queen and Roquim. I don't know his name. Ravens linebacker. Not Ray Lewis, you jerk. He retired like 20 years ago. Roquan Smith. Those guys just fly around the field. They were just shutting down the Texans' run game. Just pound. Like, they couldn't break through. When they broke through the defensive line, on occasion, the linebackers were up in their face smoking them. And if they weren't hitting them, it was Kyle Hamilton, the sickest safety in the league, probably one of my favorite defensive players now, just running a billion miles per hour, just comes up, plugs the holes, can play coverage, can lock down the short routes. It's crazy. He's very fun to watch. Anyway, so the Ravens outclassed them. Lamar Jackson obviously played well. He did run a lot of that game, which as a Lamar Jackson fan, I don't love, because you're setting yourself up for some difficulties going forward, but I don't know. That's his game. And then we had the barn burner between the 49ers and the Packers, which was crazy. Came down to a missed field goal by the Packers. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know what it was. They didn't have Debo. Their defense was not the best. The Packers defense did play well, but like the 49ers offense looked very average that game. Like, we're like the whole season, they're the best offense in the league. This is how they do. We're going to do this. This is going to be right. And it's like they came out and against the 7th seed, like the Packers did beat Dallas last week, but you got the best. Even if you don't have your best receiver, you still have a top 10 receiver on your team, plus the best running back in the league, plus the best tight end in the league. So I don't know. There's no lack of, I don't know. It was just weird. I don't think Brock Purdy played well either. I'm saying that they had a down week. Like, people are saying it's because of the bye week. I'm kind of playing on that. I think next week they're going to go out there and just going to smoke the Lions. Like, just smoke them. I don't think the Lions have a shot, but they gave them only a 5-point spread, so I don't know. We'll see. Let's see how that looks. And then the Lions-Bucks game, Baker Mayfield, I love Baker Mayfield. He's so fun to watch. He just is unafraid to sling the rock around. That he was like, I kind of felt that they kind of did everything they could in that game. The Lions defense is definitely good. He had some, I don't know, the offensive play calling didn't make any sense. Just didn't make sense. Like, I don't know. They were running the ball in weird situations. They weren't finding the right targets. Mike Evans had a ridiculous game, but other than that, like their offense was just weird. Weird. I just felt like they didn't give Baker enough opportunities to really sling the ball around, and he had to do that. Like they played it too safe in a game against one of the best offenses in the league. They had to go for it more. Their defense is not good enough to stick with them, and the Lions just outclassed them. They were just running them over. They're actually giving the ball to their best running, to Jahmyr Gibbs. So I don't know. It was a good game. I think the Lions, like I don't see them having a shot against the 49ers. Their defense is not good enough to play with them. Their defense not as good, not even close to as good as the Packers, in my opinion. So I think they're going to get steamrolled. And of course, the big game. Even if you don't watch football, I think you probably heard that Tay-Tay's Chiefs beat the Bills, unfortunately, in the last minute or 2 minutes of the game. I don't know. It's just another just such unfortunate way to lose. Like the Packers by that field goal and the Bills by one of the worst play calls I've ever. Like why are you calling a fake punt at your own 30-yard line to DeMar Hamlin? I don't know. It was absolutely crazy. I just could not believe it. I don't know. I don't understand that play call. Like, it was a great game, and you have to give Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're just so good. They're so good all the time. They're so damn good. It's like annoying, but it's kind of like as soon as that game was over, you're just like, this is like the New England feeling. Like they just beat every team, no matter what happens. They find a way to win every game. And you can't even be upset about it because it's just like, that's just what they do. They just win constantly. So, anyways, I didn't want the Chiefs to win because the sole reason that I don't want to see Taylor Swift any further. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of seeing people, where's Tay-Tay City? What's she wearing today? It's like, I don't know. And like, I don't want her in the Super Bowl, okay? I don't want them integrate. I don't want those two things put together because the Super Bowl, as it stands, is already an event for people that don't care about football to watch football and talk throughout the game. You introduce Tay-Tay into that equation, and shit hits the fan, you know? Like, it's going to be every second cutaway is going to be like, oh, Taylor Swift's clapping. Taylor Swift hugging Travis Kelce's mom. Ugh, I don't know. It's okay. Lamar Jackson could save our season for us. He could be the guy that beats the Taylor Swift-led Chiefs. He could do it. Anyways. Okay, that's enough. That is the football breakdown. Yeah. Okay, let's play some music. I do have a few songs lined up, so let's get going. This is Not Today by Chill Bump. And that is Not Today by Chill Bump. I like that song. It kind of reminds me of, the Raiden song in Django Unchained. You know, where Django's heading back to the plantation after what's-his-face is died. Like, it's in the final scene when he goes back to kill everybody. Sick scene. It's like ominous music like that. Like, oh, I'm whistling. I like that. I like the sound because it's like I'm riding back and I am about to kill everybody in a plantation. No, that's not what's happening here. No, that's not what's happening here. What's happening here is a man that is still rehabbing from nonsense. Yeah. I don't know. What's going on? What's going on? I don't know. I've been thinking a lot more about Canadian politics recently, and I don't know. Like, where are we at right now? You know? Are we like, have we collectively decided? Well, I guess there's no such thing as collectively decided, but have we like majorly decided that we're tired of Trudeau? Have we? I don't know. I'm interested to see. But like, I just feel like the options are just, I don't know. I'm sick of seeing the political advertisements, and it gets worse and worse. Like, we're not the U.S. We don't have to deal with that garbage. But if I see another ad for Pauly P breakdancing around the kids in Calgary, or I have to see another ad of Jägermeister handing out T-shirts with his Louis Vuitton bag, I'm gonna lose it. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, my roommate showed me a graphic actually this week. It's like the chances of I don't know, the predicted chances of Trudeau getting back into office next year are like low to say the least. I think it was like under 20% chance that he gets reelected based on the Canadian government's own statistics. So I don't know. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. And I've been thinking about this as well. This is kind of the beautiful part about Canada, honestly, is like party loyalty does not go that far. It doesn't go that far for most people. For most people, they're kind of just like, I don't know. It's not like you bleed, like, oh, I bleed Liberal Party. Ugh. It's just like, the Canadians are a little bit more like rational about it, you know? Like, we're not convinced that if somebody else wins, the country will get ruined, you know? I think this is what I like to think. I don't know. This is probably not true. But I like to think that we have a little bit more sense about ourselves. We're like, well, it won't make... Well, hey, it won't make all that much difference if I see Pauly Vier, I see Jägermeister in there. I mean, like, where are we going here? You know? It's not Jägermeister. I should have started the Jagmeet Singh. It won't make a difference, you know? It just doesn't seem, I don't know. But it's also not the end of the world either, though. That's the different part about it. It's just our politics don't seem as life and death anymore. And that's the reason why, this is the beautiful part about Canada, is that people will change their party vote. Like, I voted for NDP. I voted for Jagmeet last election. And I probably won't vote for Jagmeet this election. I'll probably vote for but that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know. But the nice part that I see in Canada, much more than you'd think of in the US, is people switch parties. Like when I talk to my family, there's no party loyalty there. It's like, oh, yeah, well, I only rock with the Conservatives. Unless you're like, unless you're People's Party level, then you only rock with the People's Party because you got some definite ideas on how things need to be fixed, and that they're going to be fixed that way. I don't even know what the People's Party stands for. I just know that it's hilarious because they're the most alt-right group in the country. Yeah, so I don't know. I kind of hope that change. Well, no, I know that change is good for Canada. That's the beauty. I don't know. I've been getting down on democracy in the U.S. recently because I don't know. I'm sad to see that they're both, the only two options they have are two guys in their late 70s. Two guys that will probably be passing away in the next 20 years that really aren't going to see a whole lot more of the future, that are running for office at this point and are only running because the other one is running. Both of them are only doing that. And they're also only running because the parties that fund them don't want anybody else running, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's in office. This is the thing. They're going to get bribed to do the same things as everybody else. You can't get to that point without getting cut some checks by some people that are loaded, I don't know. But that's kind of the same in Canada though. But at the same point, we have more leverage because we have more parties and we have more people that run with different opinions. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be good. I hope. I don't really care who wins, honestly. Like these people, there's a lot of people that are like convinced that, like if the Conservative Party wins, it's the end of Canada, which is not true. It's not true. All the parties are for the most part the same. They're not going to revert Canada back into the 1960s. But I don't know. I think that just change is good. When we get to this point where we're like, no, things are perfect the way they are, we can't change. Things aren't. I don't know. It's like when you get to a point when things aren't progressively getting like a lot better, but you're just afraid to see anything change differently. You're like, I don't want us to get to that point. And I feel like we need somebody else so that we can not get to that point, No, that's just my opinion. So, I don't know. I hope this, literally this is 2 years from now, but it's coming up more and more. You think about it with the elections coming up and yeah. Anyways, it's quite funny. Okay, let's play another song. This is Street Jazz by A1. And that was Street Jazz by A1. Yeah. I got my phone battery replaced. And if you don't know that you can do this, I'm now telling you can do this. And if you know that you could do this, then stop listening right now because you know everything. Like, why would you listen to anything else? You're so smart. You don't need to take in any more information. Yeah, you can now get your iPhone battery replaced. Now under Canadian law, they can go into the Apple devices, Like, this is recent development. Like, for a while, you couldn't go into an Apple phone. Like, there was some copyright. There was some kind of legal boundary that stopped anybody from servicing an iPhone. It's just like absolutely crazy to think about. You're buying this thing with all this technology inside of it, and you can't even go in and fix it. Like, literally, it's all set up so that when one thing stops working, you toss the thing into the ocean, a sea turtle eats it, and you go buy a new one. I don't know. It's yeah. Apple drives me crazy when I start to think about their business model, but it is what it is, So anyways, but I'm trying to divert around the system. I'm trying to hold back from buying a $17,000 phone. $1,700 phone. You know, it's a ridiculous amount of money for a glass metal thing that you stare at all day. It's just way too much money. So expensive. So anyway, my battery, when I was in Africa, I realized that my battery was terrible. I only had the energy was very unstable where we went for most of the places. Some of the places it was very good, but some of the places it was not as good. And I only had the chance to charge my phone once a day, maybe once every 2 days. And my battery was terrible. I had power save mode on from 100%, and the battery would still run out within a couple hours. I wasn't even looking at it. There was a couple days when I was like, let's just test this out. So I'd keep it at 100%. I'd put on power saving mode, and I wouldn't use it for 6 hours. And I'd look back at the phone, and it was at 40%, 30%. It's you're draining 60% of the battery by doing nothing. I had airplane mode on. I wasn't connected to internet. Wasn't doing any notifications because I was in Africa in a park. It literally had nothing to do, and it was losing 60 to 70% of its battery. It's how is this possible? It was just, I don't know. It's just totally designed so you're well, the battery doesn't work, I better buy a new one. It's you've had it for 2 years. You've had it for 2 years. You spent $1,700 on it. Do you think that that's enough time to just give it back or toss it away? No, that's not enough time to warrant tossing stuff away. It's just especially with phones and stuff, with all the minerals that are required to put into them that are mined from awful conditions from crazy places. You don't need a new phone, Dave. You'll be fine. Still works. It might be slower. You can still load Google. You can still check Instagram. You'll be fine. But the new model has a new camera. You're going to use it 1 out of 100 pictures you take. It doesn't matter. But it's got a different notch in the top. Anyways. It's just the ramblings of a man that's annoyed with Apple products. I don't know why I keep buying them. It's because when they get you stuck in your stupid ecosystem, you're just well, no, I can't not have one because then I can't text from my laptop. It's who cares? Text from your phone. It doesn't make any logical sense why I need it. It's just the matter of, well, my life is going to be so much harder. I'm going to have to go on, pick up my phone, text with my thumbs. Can't type it in. The reason I'm laughing so hard because I genuinely was having these thoughts this week. I was thinking this. I'm so sick of my Mac. I'm tired of it. It's so annoying. Runs out of battery so fast. I constantly have to reload everything. I'm what if I just bought a computer? I was thinking about I could buy a computer that's $600 cheaper and probably 1.5 times as good. Better. But I can't text from my computer. And when I'm sitting in class, I won't have a Mac. Ugh, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. And that's the other thing with Apple products is it's just turned into oh, you don't have one? What are you, poor? Which is the stupidest thing we could say. Oh, you don't have this overpriced piece of junk? What are you, poor? It's no, that guy's a genius. He didn't fall into this pyramid scheme like everybody else has. just something so hilarious for shitting on Apple so hard. Oh, well, it'll be fine. I own their stock. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. You know, they're still dummies like me that will just buy it every year. Oh, the new model came out. I better update. Better get the update. Then we all pretend that the updates aren't actually ruining our phones. It's like, yeah, but if I update it, I get a new version of Notes. It's like, yeah, but didn't you realize that your battery life decreased 50% after the upgrade? It's like, yeah, but now I can edit my photos based on people's faces. Crazy, right? It's also just the fact that all the upgrades now, like the upgrades when I was young, like between 2010 and 2016, I felt like every upgrade on iOS was like, whoa, crazy, all this new stuff. And I felt like the last 5 years, it's kind of slowed down a bit. Like every iPhone is kind of the same now. Like for a while, they were like, the new one is crazy. They got so much more space, way better cameras, way better microphones, way bigger screen. And now it's just like, it's the same thing, but it's got a notch in the top. Oh, crazy. We're geniuses. We're geniuses. We're crazy. You can pay us now. We'll take your money. Ugh. That's how I see Apple. I see them as like some frat bro that thinks he's way smarter than he actually is. Like, yeah, we thought of it. We thought of it first. Headphones, Bluetooth headphones that are each individuals. Crazy. I don't know. It's just like, yeah. They just make their stuff easy to use. None of it's like... But I used to be convinced that it was like revolutionary technology. And now I just realize none of this is revolutionary. It's the same thing as every other technology company. You just make it easy to use so people are like convinced. Well, you make it easy to use, and second, you make it look really sexy. So everybody's just like, oh my God, they're white and you put them in your ear and they're not connected to anything? Oh, crazy. You know? Anyways, I wonder if I'm going to get sued for defamation after this. Please don't sue me, Apple. I don't have anything. You can have my 2009 Honda Civic. All right, next song, Stumbling by J-Taj. Sorry. I wasn't paying attention. I was reading a very interesting article about why the Amherst homelessness. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm not going to say much about homelessness. Okay, and now let's do some reading. Trauma-sensitive yoga. I did yoga today. Wow, crazy. Okay. I'll talk about this after. Student, staff, and community members are invited to participate in group trauma-sensitive yoga led by yoga therapist Sarah Smith with support for the Mount Allison Sexualized Violence Services and University Wellness Center. The class is open to anyone interested in exploring gentle movement therapy. The trauma-informed lens means that they focus on choice-making, nervous system regulation, and embodiment in a supportive environment. Join them every Monday until April from 3:30 to 4:30 at the MTA Dance Studio. Tintamar Community Concert Band, a musical celebration. Oh no, this is dated. Never mind. Don't ignore it. All right, UBU 24. Some young actors stage in a secret underground location excerpts from an outrageous comedy that changed the course of modern theater. But thugs are roaming the streets, looking for books to burn and shows to shut down. Can the show go on? By Alfred Jerry, Alex Fancy, and Tintamar, Mount Allison's bilingual theater troupe, with associate director Rafael Rezende Frier. What a great name. That's an absolutely sick name. Come for the comedy. Join the counterculture. Jan 31st to Feb 3rd, 7:30 p.m. nightly. Feb 1st, Thursday, is pay what you can. Cash only. Limited tickets at the door. UBU 24. Okay. And some shows. The Night Shift. Sunday, 9 p.m. Listen to The Night Shift to hear Luca Capone spin a diverse, adventurous mix of sounds ranging from psychedelic jazz to experimental hip-hop, tropicalia to musique concrète, with heavy focus on Canadian and independent artists that can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. on CHMite. Psycho Killer radio show. I hope that's not an indication of what he does in his free time. Friday, 11 p.m. Feeling lonely. Can't fall asleep at night. Tune in every week at 11 p.m. Friday night for a weekly horror story, followed by rock music. I'm sure you won't feel alone anymore afterwards. Live audiences encouraged at the third floor of the Student Center, CHMA station, and stay awake with other restless souls. He's encouraging live audiences to come in. Interesting. Okay. Microcosms, Monday, 9 p.m. Valentine Klug. Microcosms. Okay, well, this is his. It's in quotations, so this is him talking, okay? Okay, begin. Microcosms is a show about the roots of genres of the history of music. Get it? Okay, great. I dive deep on the founding sounds of small micro genres, leading to a show that allows you to hear changes and influences that took years to happen in 1 hour. Microcosms. Great show. Okay. Okay, we're gonna settle down and we're gonna be positive. Okay. Yeah, I did yoga today, which is very exciting. Because I'm a very inflexible large man and it doesn't work well with my large body. I'm so inflexible. It's ridiculous. I can't even remember a time that I was able to touch my toes. I literally can't even remember. Like, it must have been when I was a child. You know when you just see children just playing around? You know? Sorry. And they're just like, they're bending over in random ways. I remember when my cousin was born. When she was 1 or 2 years old, she'd just drop a ball behind her and rather than turning around, she'd reach for it behind her head. And it's just crazy. Those children are so flexible. It's crazy. Okay, anyways, I don't know how I got to that point. I was at yoga and I was trying to get flexible and it was okay. The instructor kept coming over to me. I know him. He's a nice guy. He's to navigate with me, but he's like, Beckett, you're doing it wrong. I'm like, I know I'm doing it wrong. I'm well aware that it's not working here. There's no part of me that clicks with yoga, but I'm here because I don't want to be the old man that can't get out of his chair. Anyway, so I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with it. Hopefully I can go once a week and try and build my flexibility, but it's flexibility is so hard to build up if you don't have some kind of talent in it already. It's tough to get started on it when you have no flexibility prior to the flexibility you're trying to gain. I was reading some interesting article. It's to get more flexible, fast, you have to stretch every day for 3 to 4 weeks, and you have to stretch a couple times a day for 5 to 10 minutes. It's so much stretching to make any difference with your muscles. If you just do it once a week, a little stretch, it doesn't do anything. It's crazy. It's amazing how much work you have to put in. And it's amazing how naturally flexible some people are compared to others. And it's doesn't matter in your age, doesn't matter. It sex does matter, but age not so much. But it's it's just some people are just just bending into random positions. And I'm I barely even get my legs up in the air straight. They're always bent. I don't know. It's a work in progress. Speaking of I don't know. I don't really know how this relates. So we're going to just talk about it. I feel like I'm actually getting cold now. I'm like aging. I'm aging so rapidly. You know, I was thinking about this. My whole childhood, I don't remember being cold ever. Like, I don't think I ever was cold as a child. Like, I would go a bike to school in shorts in January. Like, I'm from Vancouver, but it's not warm. It's 2 degrees and raining. Like, it wasn't like, I don't know. I don't ever remember being cold. And now I just feel like I'm only cold. Every time I go outside, it's like, ugh, this is disgusting. You know, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I think it's product of age. Well, that's just my opinion. That is just my opinion. Okay. What did we just play? Stumbling. Okay. Have we played this one yet? Okay. This is Real Hip Hop by A1. And that is Real Hip Hop by A1. Wow, that's a really good song. Yeah, that's actually my second time listening to that song. I really enjoy that. I don't know what the underscore is. The underscore? I don't think that's the right word, but it's really good. The underscore. The underscore. Yeah. I don't know. You know what's crazy is like doing math when you're an adult. You know, all those years, you just want to blow your brains out in 5th grade. Like, why are we learning about long division? You know? I don't think I know how to do long division anymore, honestly. I think I've completely forgotten. The only way I know how to divide things is by thinking about their multiplication. If I had to write down what's 1,058 divided by 6, I don't know if I know how to, like, calculate it on a piece of paper. You know? When you used to do that 6, and then you'd make that weird C and then the line, and then you'd write the number in it, and you'd, like, write down after. I have no idea. I totally have forgotten. Like, do you carry the one? I don't. Yeah. Well, that all, like, you know, when you learned how to do all this stuff in elementary school, kind of reminds me of like what ChatGPT is going to be for everything else, you know, because you learned how to do it and now you never use it because you have calculators. And I kind of feel like ChatGPT is the same thing, but on a way bigger scale, you know. It's like, it's good to learn why things happen, you know. It gives you some perspective, but at the same time, it's like, what you're probably not going to need to use all this stuff that you're learning because, you know. Remember back in the day, back in the olden days, like the 5th century, when Peapod taught you how to build a rake, you better learn how to build that rake, because if you're not building that rake, it's not going to be good, you know?